Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody. It is Monday, January 26th, and you know what that means. It is time for the High Risk Wrestling Recap. I am your host, Jeremy Pierce. Check out the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram, and of course the 215 on Twitter. Without further ado, let's get into the news. The Ring Boy lawsuit against the WWE, the plaintiffs have asked for anonymity to protect obviously the identities of those suing the WWE, Vince McMahon and Linda McMahon for their negligence in the sexual abuse of minors, as reported by Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics. This is good. Just these kind of things just need to happen. Naomi explained why she walked out of the WWE in 2002 with Sasha Banks. This was coming from WWE Unreal, which I don't watch Unreal, so I just get the news just to check up on it because I think it's just a bad show. But essentially, she was recapturing her voice, standing up for herself. Her and Sasha Banks stood up for themselves, which was the right thing to do. And then that idiot, Michael P.S. Hayes, who, mind you, ladies and gentlemen, called one of his co-workers the N-word and still was able to keep his job, said, no, that's not what you do. You stay, you finish the show, and then you can talk about it down the road. He just doesn't get it. Where is Rusev and the Street Profits? Well, if you have nothing to do, they're holding you off on TV till they figure out what to do. This is standard practice with the WWE. Mind you, Nick Khan said they don't bench people. They don't, keep them sidelined. This is clearly what's going on. Booker T raised some eyebrows with an on-air remark on NXT, which was shown, he said, after a video of Josh Briggs was shown, and he said, in essence, right around WrestleMania season, things happen and people start getting cut, and it was like, bro, why would you? Well, he's been a fool for a very long time. Cody Rhodes, one of the few smart things he has says that the WWE needs more house shows, and he's right. They need more house shows. Wrestlers need to get their reps. For example, Bayley in 2022 wrestled, I believe, 122 matches. Last year, she wrestled 59. That is a large drop. Wrestlers need reps. It is very much that simple. Tommaso Ciampa is officially going from the WWE. He released a statement about everything. It was pretty much thanking everybody for the incredible journey. We will see what's next for him. TNA is addressing the production issues after the backlash of their AMC debut because it was very bad. We were told that they were addressed internally, and the hopes was that the issues will be rectified this week, and it has gotten better. The next show was pretty solid. The format of stuff just wasn't well. It wasn't produced well. So we see what happens in the future. Powerhouse Hobbs is officially part of the WWE. He has signed with the Fed, and looks like he's going by the name Royce Keys. That is such a WWE name. Killer Kelly has parted ways with TNA. They offered her a contract extension, but she decided to walk away. This is amicable for both sides. Of note, she was backstage at Collision, I believe, this past week. She is again in a relationship and with Myra Reed. She's also the mother of his child. I kind of hoping that her and Priscilla Kelly both get signed. Evil is departing New Japan Pro Wrestling. He is the leader of the House of Torture stable, which has not been well liked in New Japan, but he is gone at the end of January, and we shall see where he goes. Probably he's heading to the WWE. Grand Slam Australia, the air date has been revealed. It will be going down Valentine's Day, which is February 14th. That's a Saturday, 8 p.m. This will be a 2.5-hour show, and this is always one of their biggest shows of the year. This makes sense that it's this weekend because now we can finally build to Revolution afterwards, because I always felt it was weird that after World's End there's really no pay-per-views until Revolution. That's a 2.5, almost 3 month gap. So they have Maximum Carnage, which really isn't much, but Grand Slam has always been treated as a major show. On the injury side of things, we got a timeline on JD McDonough. He's just not coming back anytime soon. It could be after WrestleMania, early after that. Stephanie Vaquera is still not clear, but she has been shown without a walking boot as she got involved in Saturday night's main event. So it looks like she is almost good to go. Juice Robinson was pulled from Collision as he has not been medically clear. We don't know what his injury is. Moose confirms a serious back injury that he worked with at TNA Genesis, and it looks like this is why he has been kicked out of the system. We'll get into that a little bit later. And just incredible, was hospitalized with a calf infection. He is in good spirits, and we'll see what goes on with him. But that is the news, and we should be right back with the Week in Review. All right, you know how we do with the Week in Review. We start off from Monday Night Raw, and oh look, the Royal Rumble is coming up. So we start off in the ring with Gunther and AJ. Gunther mocks, the show also gets a fist. Gunther mocks AJ over last week's tap out controversy. And I give Gunther credit where credit is due. He did a fine job. But ultimately, Gunther challenges him to another match, and AJ puts his career on the line. This will be going down at the Royal Rumble because the answer came later on in the night. Maxine Dupree was up next for her championship match against Becky Lynch, and Natalya said she'll have her she'll be in her corner, which obviously means Natalya is going to turn on Maxine. And of course, during the match, Natalya turned on Maxine. Becky Lynch retained. Fine match. Natalya stabbed and attacked Maxine after the match. I don't think this is a full-blown heel turn. What I think this is we can move Maxine away from the title. Becky can go use the belt up until WrestleMania. Natalya and Maxine can feud, and then we find out this was Maxine's final test coming out of the dungeon, that Natalya got to get her right, get her going to then get another championship match. This is just me. We'll see. Pierce and Heyman were arguing backstage over Braun Breaker. We got hype for the Punk and Balor main event. Jey Uso was in the ring declaring for the Rumble and the promise to go back to back. The Vision team up Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, and Austin Theory took on Ray, Dragon Lee, and Penta, with the latter team getting the win after Penta hit the Mexican Destroyer. Ray ended up using Logan Paul's brass knucks on Austin Theory. We were backstage with Punk, and he says pressure makes him the best. We were in the ring with RHIYO. That's what they're going by, Rhea and Io Sky. They're both going to be in the Royal Rumble. They're interrupted by the Judgment Day, ends up getting a beat down for their troubles, as they will be defending the Women's Tag Team Championship against the Judgment Day at Saturday night's main event. Backstage, Lyra and Bayley, I guess, have mutual respect for each other. They are a tag team. They will support each other in the Royal Rumble, so they can be the final two. El Grande Americano took on Javon Evans, and he won due to ref stoppage, but Javon Evans is fine. He was not in the injury report from the show earlier. AJ officially again accepted Gunther's career stipulation, which will be set for the Royal Rumble, and Asuka also verbally abused Kairi Sane again, and she's like, don't make me yell at you any further. And in the main event, CM Punk put the World Heavyweight Championship on the line against Finn Balor, and of course this was Finn Balor. Punk won. It was a good match. It was a really good match. One of the best I've seen from Finn Balor in a long time. He looked like he was motivated, but Punk ultimately retained here over on Dynamite. This show gets a thumbs up. This was just a fun show. We start off with MJF in the ring, and he kicked Shivani out, burying him on the mic. Bragged about his wealth, his lifestyle, yada yada yada. Says that he's the devil, and 2026 will be his year. He's confronted by Brody King, who said he's going to hurt him, but he won't do it right now because he wants a title match. And MJF is like, nah, you haven't beaten anybody. But Brody backed him up into a corner, allowing MJF to escape. So it looks like this will be MJF's next title defense, probably at Grand Slam, before we move into Revolution. We were backstage with Hangman, Speedball, and Kevin Knight, the new Trios champions, trying to come up with a team name, and Hangman hyped Knight's match with Swerve for later in the evening, which is the main event. But finally, our first match of the evening. This is weird that AEW starts off like this, but they don't do long 20-minute talking segments. The opening segment with MJF and Brody King, I think, went 10 minutes. And we moved into our first match, which was Samoa Joe taking on Speedball Mike Bailey. This was a good match. Joe needed help to beat Speedball as the rest of the ops, Shibata and Hook, got involved, causing distraction, allowing him to hit the muscle buster to get the W. MJF was shown watching backstage, looked like he's scouting all of his potential opponents. Jon Moxley, Will Yuta, and Daniel Garcia of the Death Riders defeated Rocky Romero, Hachicero, and Lance Archer in a street fight. There's been better street fights in AEW. There have definitely been better street fights in AEW. Marina Shafir, Pac, Claudio all got involved. Marina got into it with Lance Archer. Rocky Romero ended up passing out to Daniel Garcia's submission. Mox then confronted Don Callis at ringside, who was on commentary, and warned him that if Okada wants the championship, he knows exactly where he is and to come find him. We had a promo by the Triangle of Magnus. Thekla issued the challenge to Chris Statlander for the championship, and Julia Hart challenged Willow for the TBS title. Remember, Willow was the one that defeated Julia Hart, ending her reign, and Thekla promised toxicity from everyone involved. So if Thekla's got Chris and Julia's got Willow, that means process of elimination, Scott Harley. This will be fun. FCR defeated the debuting Alec Price and Jordan Oliver. Fine match. This is, this is what we do in AEW. We give the new guys some shine, but they ultimately will lose a couple matches until they get risen up the card. It's okay. They'll be featured a lot on AEW television and Ring of Honor television going forward. Backstage with Chris, Willow, and Stat. And Stat responded to Thekla accepting the challenge. Willow accepted Julia Hart's challenge, and Tony Khan made both matches official. Kenny Omega versus Josh Alexander, a dream match for Josh Alexander, went down. Solid match. MJF was watching backstage. Ultimately, Kenny Omega won with the one-winged angel. Omega said he feels better than he has been in years, and he said none of Callis' men can beat him, and Callis powdered at ringside. Like, MJF's got challengers, Callis' men are taking losses. Let's see what happens. MJF was backstage. We got a not MJF's backstage. We got a breakdown of MJF's submission move on Bandito, as Taz was back. This was another version. This was Taz's technique. Then we had Tony Storm and Shirakawa taking on Mega Bane and Penelope Ford. Fun match. A little sloppy at times, but Bane and Ford got the win after Marina Shafir interferes. It looks great. Feels great to have Megan Bane and Penelope Ford back together. Marina Shafir is still working with him, so Bane's got two tag team partners, but I expect a tag team title match coming sooner rather than later for them too. In the main event, Kevin Knight versus Swerve Strickland. This was Kevin Knight trying to prove himself, prove that he is the future, not only is he the future, but he is the right now. And this was a really good match. You've seen a lot from both men, but ultimately Swerve won with the meter house call, a vertebreaker, then a JML driver to seal the deal. He really, he was putting Kevin Knight away. MJF looked unhappy watching from his suite. He was scouting all of his opponents over on Impact. We had a shock to the system, ladies and gentlemen. This show gets a fist. We started in the ring with Tom Hanford and Michael Rinholt welcoming viewers. Carlos Silva celebrated the debut, and he thanks fans and hyped the new partnership. Our first match of the evening was Cedric Alexander versus Moose in a solid affair. Cedric ultimately got the win, carrying the powerbomb into a Hurricanrana roll up after the match. Moose raises Cedric's arm in respect. Santana was in the ring vowing to represent TNA. Well, he is the world champion. He talked about recovery, redemption, and legacy. He talked about AJ Styles passing him the torch and declares that he belongs as the guy in TNA. Gia Miller was backstage interviewing Ali in order for her. Ali, of course, insulted her and vowed to expose Jeff Hardy and Ali. We trust Indy Hartwell took on M by Elegance. Indy got the W, reversing the roll up to score the sudden pinfall victory. After the match, Heather attacked Indy and Ash Ash went to stop Heather, but then she turned on Indy and the Angel Warriors confronted Elegance brand, and Ash revealed her line was back to her original faction, the one that she started. So it looks like Ash by Elegance is back, ladies and gentlemen. We had the Feast or Famine match. Trey Miguel made his return as he re-signed with TNA. This match featured Eric Young, Steve Macklin, Eddie Edwards, and Trey Miguel. Everybody got their briefcase, so we shall see who gets what. Nick Nemeth confronted Santana backstage. He mentioned Santana's daughter, and Santana swung on Nemeth until security broke it up. Come on, man. You don't bring people's family into that. And Nemeth started berating wrestlers who were backstage playing video games. We know where this is coming from. BDE challenges Nemeth to a match next week in the ring. Elena Black debuted, declaring her dominance of the Knockouts division, and we are in the era of Elena. Santino and Dario discussed Elena, seeing what her future holds, and Ariana Grace emotionally reconciled with her father. We'll see. In the next match was Ali taking on Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy got the win with the twist of fate of the Swanton. But after the match, the Righteous were reacting from the parking lot. Okay, I wasn't expecting a Jeff Hardy win. In the ring, our main event segment, JDC announces that Bear Bronson will be the newest member of the system. He handpicked him, and then Eddie Edwards low blow JDC, much to the shock of Alicia Myers, and Bronson then turned on Moose, and then Cedric Alexander came out to help Moose, and then he attacked Moose. And the system revealed their full betrayal. So JDC is out, Moose is out, Cedric Alexander and Bear Bronson are. And Alicia went to check on JDC and Moose, and she doesn't know what to do. So we got a reset of the system. The question is, who is the leader? It's probably Eddie Edwards. Over on SmackDown, when is the Rumble, ladies and gentlemen? I am cautiously going to give this show a thumbs up. SmackDown's kind of been good since switching 3 hours, and this is one of their better shows. We'll see how I feel afterwards. We were in the ring with Sammy. We were in Montreal, his hometown. We talked about his momentum, vowing to win the Fatal 4-Way. Trick came out and assaulted Sammy. Damian Priest came out in front of Chick saying, yo, you talk all this jickety-yak, but you don't say it to my face. Trick then cheap shotted Sammy and bolted before Damian Priest could whoop his ass. Backstage, Randy Orton vowed to win that Fatal 4-Way, and this is the year of the Viper. Mello thank Ilya for having his back, and say, hey, you get a title shot if you want one. And the Miz interrupted and insulted Carmelo because he's like, how does Dragunov get the opportunity? What about me? Mello and Dragunov fought for the U.S. Championship. Mello putting the title on the line. Mello got the win with the first 48, but he didn't notice that the Miz pushed Dragunov off of the top rope, and Mello was furious for this after the match. Then we got a sit-there interview, right? Michael Cole was interviewing Cody Rhodes, and before really Cody could get started, Jacob Fatu came in, and Cody, spotted all the jickety-yaks, the usual stuff, which kind of was good, but Jacob was on another level, talked about being in prison because Cody brought that up, and talking about, well, everything got me right here, standing in front of you. And mind you, he said, I'm always in control, because last time I saw the video, if you saw the video, Drew was halfway out of the ring before I got involved. You already lost that match. There was no title for you to retain. But you think I'm crazy? You think I'm like the other Samoans? See, they ain't never made them like me. They never gonna make them like me. I'm fully in control, and you should be scared. Let's go. This is the Jacob Fatu that I know. Yeah, I mean. Chelsea and Alba asked Jordan Grace to be a part of the Secret Harvest. And Grace is like, yeah, I'll join backing you up against Jade. Of course, Jade ran through Chelsea Green. And then Jordan Grace challenged Jade verbally after the match, and Grace declared that she will win the Rumble and she's coming for her. If Bianca Belair isn't back by the Rumble, I'm expecting Grace and Cargo to be the match. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte were discussing the tag team title goals. What do they really want to do? Solo declared that MFT's intentions and that they'll win the tag team titles in the Royal Rumble, and of course with the help of the rest of the MFTs and some outside interference, using the Solo as a shot, as a weapon behind the ref's back. The MFTs defeated the Y6 to win the WWE Tag Team Championship. So they have the titles and they have the Lantern. We got some fun stuff. R-Truth gave Nick Aldis his balls. AJ, it was like, whatever. Shinsuke challenged AJ to a match one more time before your career may or may not be up at the Royal Rumble. Johnny Gargano took on Nathan Frazier in a fast-paced matchup. This was really solid. Candace tried to distract Frazier, but Frazier ultimately got the one with the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment. Backstage, Lash Legend and Nia Jax both vowed to dominate and win the Royal Rumble and get the tag team titles. Drew insulted Montreal. He ran down the fatal 4-way. Combatants targeted Sammy with personal insults. While that was going on, Trick and Ray got into it backstage. Kid Wilson and Matt Cardona had a confrontation backstage. So there's a lot of moving parts going on SmackDown. Julia and Kiana James defeated Charlotte and Lash and Nia to become the new #1 contenders to the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Kiana got the win on Alexa Bliss. Sammy then confronted Damian Priest. You're my boy, but I got to win this dub. And then he went straight up to Drew and smacked him in the face and just walked off. And that was good. Cody saw Drew's message on his tour bus. Julia and Kiana celebrate their win and declare their championship ambitions. And in the main event, Damian Priest defeated Trick Williams by DQ after Sami Zayn attack. Trick, Randy Orton ended up taking out everybody. Standard stuff. Over on Collision, this was another solid show. Our first match was Shibata taking on Hangman Adam Page. And this was good. I've seen better from these two, but ultimately Hangman got the win with the buckshot lariat. We were backstage with Ricochet. We shot a video of Ricochet and Don Callis golfing. Davis Lawyer decided to beat somebody up on the golf course, and Callis tells Ricochet to focus on Jack Perry. Isla Dawn took on Chris Statlander in pretty much a showcase match for Chris. Chris won in about 3 minutes, hitting the Saturday Night Fever. Isla did get some moves and had some brief control. After the match, Thekla was showing on stage, mocking Chris, believing her, yes, I celebrate you, but it's all over before he spit on her shirt and threw it in the trash. Jack Perry threatens Ricochet and stabs the table. Billy Gunn and Austin Gunn teamed up to take on Proto Shida, and even though the Guns controlled early, Proto Shida ultimately got the win with Takeshita hitting the Raging Fire. Don Callis celebrated his two guys, his two stars, and Okada appeared on the stage, and Takeshita had to be restrained. Ricochet announces the national championship match will be in Las Vegas, and he insults Jack Perry, calls him out of this world. The Grizzly Veterans complain they want another match against Santana against Ortiz and Eddie Kingston. Eddie said, all right, fine, y'all want to act tough, come and be tough. Mark Davis and Jake Doyle took on, guess who? Jordan Oliver and Alex Price, and they got the W. Solid match. After the match, Callis claims the vision of beating FTR and winning the tag team titles. FTR and Stokely appeared on the screen, and Stokely calls Callis a liar and vows that FTR will retain. We got a nice little video of Darby with Bam Margera, and he showed him the suplex spot. Then we had the TBS Championship match with Willow Nightingale defending against Julia Hart. Fun matches took place at the top of the 9 o'clock hour. This was good. Both women got all their moves in, but Willow ultimately countered a moonsault into the Dr. Bomb, getting the W, retaining the championship. Also, happy birthday to the love of my life, Willow Nightingale. The Rascals mock crew and decided who will face them. This was going to be fun. It looks like it will. I think it's going to be Desmond. Yeah, it's going to be Dez and Zach Wentz taking on crew. Alex Windsor was talking to a mystery opponent saying like, yo, you're a former champion and you've had your ups and downs, so how about you come and team with me to get some more gold? And it was Jamie Hayter. I like this team. Andrade took on Magnus, not Magnus from TNA, but this was all about Andrade and his new gimmick, the swagger. He wrestled in his pants, and then he stripped, hit the Three Amigos, hit the DM, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Magnus got some moves in, but that wasn't nothing serious. Andrade then took a photo with a woman ringside that was independent wrestler Sophie Savan, and he vowed to come. He's coming for the world title as well. He gets a match, ladies and gentlemen, against Swerve on Wednesday. Claudio defended the CMLL World Championship. He was defending against Roderick Strong. Tony Collins represents the title. Good fun match. Great psychological warfare between these two. Strong had comebacks because Claudio's just too strong, but ultimately Claudio won, hitting the neutralizer for the win. He got an assist from Wheeler. You to our matches of the week. And get this, ladies and gentlemen, WWE has some good matches this week. I'm shocked. From Raw, the World Championship match, CM Punk versus Finn Balor. From NXT, ZaRuca versus Fatal Influence versus the RHIYO. And Knockouts World Tag Team Championship Number Contenders match from Dynamite, Kenny Omega versus Josh Alexander, and Swerve versus Kevin Knight. From Collision, Claudio and Roderick for the CMLL World Championship. And from Saturday night's main event, RHIYO versus the Judgment Day team of Liv and Roxanne Perez for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, and AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura. Ladies and gentlemen, from Saturday night's main event, go watch this match. I don't know where this was. This should have been their WrestleMania match. This should have been their WrestleMania match, but I digress. It's a fantastic match. Just go watch it. Our stars of the week, AJ and Shinsuke, for putting on that banger reminiscent of their New Japan days. But that's our show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Look on the screen what we got coming up. Check out the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations 52 on Instagram, and of course, the 215 on Twitter. I see you when I see you. Peace.